COVID thing, and that was one thing. Good morning, all you beautiful people. Good to see you on this beautiful Sunday morning. So many good faces we haven't seen for so long.
Including our own.
This morning with this little light of mine.
Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All over Portland. All over Portland, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. All over Portland, I'm gonna let it shine. All over Portland, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Oh, yes. Welcome, welcome, Michael, Gina, and Billy. We're so happy to have you with us. Welcome, Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, as we gather both in this space and around our globe with a consciousness, with an awareness that the universe is shining through us. It is, we are the universe becoming aware of itself. And sometimes you might think, oh dear, what does that mean? But the truth is, this universe moves in us, through us, and as us every day of our lives. And in the 1300s, Rumi said, and I just want to read this to you, that breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. Right now, we're being asked to reopen our eyes, to re-envision and reawaken to a larger way of living and a larger way of knowing who we are and where humanity has come to touch each other's lives, to take this journey together. So we welcome you this morning to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, and we are going to begin this service in prayer. As we join together, we say, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, we open our hearts, we open our minds to the awareness of life, the pure essence of life lived as us this moment. We open to healing for all who are suffering anywhere on this planet. We hold healing, we hold enough, and we hold love enfolding every being. And for humanity, we see that awakening of divine love, divine life flowing through each of us. We have come with a mighty purpose, and there is a plan. And for our ability to gather together this morning and say, here I am, infinite presence, move through me, we are so grateful. And so it is. Amen. And we just welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland as we gather and we begin to remember the truth of who we are and that life and that love that sources us. I want to share with you some of what's happening in our community. First of all, spiral dynamics and what is happening now in our country with Reverend E.J. Niles will be happening. It's just 1 week, May 19th. At 7 p.m., so this coming Wednesday. The suggested love offering is $25. If that works for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, that's okay. But we would invite you to look at that. It'll be on Zoom. You can go on to our newsletter, our e-newsletter, or our website at unityofportland.org. And I'm looking forward to it, to look at what is happening from a spiritual and spiral dynamics, which means the collective rising in consciousness. What is actually happening here, and where are we called to be a part of it? So that'll be Wednesday. We have a new class coming up. It's Embracism. It's with Raina Imig and Arva Imig. It's June 4th through the 28th, so Monday nights, 7:30 to 9. It is just this introductory 4-part course that talks about, taking racially privileged position from confusion to awareness. Who are we? How do we show up on this planet? And how are we part of that change? It centers on the work and voices of Black leaders while attempting to remove the burden of education from those most harmed by racism. Instead, it's like, are we really educated? Do we know what we're doing and where we're going? So I invite you to be a part of that. You can sign up again on our newsletter or our website. We are starting something in June. It starts June 6th after church. At 11:30, we'll be having a garden party the first Sunday of every month, obviously, outside, whether it's in the garden or over in the parking lot, just simply celebrating who we are. Hopefully by that time there won't be masks. In fact, as far as I know, outside we don't need to, but we will work with that. So it'll be after church, the first Sundays. The first one's June 6th. So we invite you to bring a chair and just come and enjoy humanity. We have there is one book study that is open with our spirit groups. It has 8 more weeks, and it's actually here in person if you're interested in doing that after the Sunday service. They meet basically up in the front of the sanctuary. They're still socially distanced, but that'll be happening. So if you'd like to join that, just come on in, and they would be happy to have you as a part of their group. We have a book and craft sale coming up Saturday, June 26th, as we're starting to reopen and reinvigorate ourselves. We have boxes and boxes and boxes of books, and we're looking for more volunteers. We have quite a few to help set them up and put them out there. And also, there will be craft tables. So if you're interested in being a part of that, we invite you to sign up either in the entryway. There's actually a sign up this time, or you can do so online. Or call Beth in the office. So it's a great opportunity. We're just celebrating life right now and just the opportunity to gather. This month is the month of special giving, and I invite you to be a part of that. We believe that Unity of Portland's message is such a powerful one, and it is one that as we gather together, and all of us are a part of that, it allows us to express and to share this message. So we invite you to be a part of that. We are going to take a moment, and we're going to move into a congregational song. And I just want to say how wonderful it is to be able to sing more freely, to live life more freely, and we are looking forward to life.
Here we go. God is my source.
God is my source.
Anybody want to
Please stand if you feel comfortable. In the nature, I live joyfully and easily. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well.
Yes.
God is my source, and abundance is my nature. I live joyfully and easily. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well.
God is my source.
God God is my source, and abundance is my nature. I live joyfully and easily. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well, all is well. I know that all is well, all is well.
Oh, yes, we do know that all is well as I invite you, whether you're in this room or anywhere, wherever you are, to just look around your space and recognize that the presence and power of Spirit is there. If there are other beings with you, look in those eyes, because they are the eyes of the infinite, and they are here as love, as presence, as power, we're here to walk each other home. And as we recognize, I know that there's a presence and power within me, we begin to move into that time of meditation. And so if you have believed that somewhere out there your life happened, I'd invite you to move within, to recognize that life happens from the inside out, that the presence and power of love lives as you this moment.
If I am made of love, then I am good enough. If I am held in love, then I am free. If I could see through love, then I could see the good, could see this world is part of me. Embrace the nights, embrace the days, yeah, and know within they are the same. An empty page to write the truth that you are love and I am you.
Breathing in fully. You are love. You are loved. I am you. As we breathe in this deeper understanding of life, of humanity, as expressions of the infinite, we open to the deeper understanding that every being is created whole. I am created whole. I am enough for everything that's happening in my life. And I allow this idea to take me deeper into that still presence within. In the silence, I am whole. In the silence. Breath by breath, throughout this journey, this day, we allow an awakening of the awareness of the infinite. It's within us, and we are abundantly blessed. It's around us. And in a world that seeks to awaken, we see that life and that presence and that movement of spirit, and we are so blessed. And so it is. Amen.
If I am made of love, then I am good enough. If I am held in love, then I am free. If I could see through love, then I could see the good. Could see this world is part of me. Embrace the night, embrace the day, and know within they are the same. An empty page to write the truth that you are love and I am you.
For we are love. Sing it together.
For we are love.
I am love.
We're only love. You and me. We're only love.
For we are
Love. We're only love. You and me. We're only love. We are love. We're only love. You and me. We're only love.
We are love. We're only love. You and me are only love.
Never thought I'd be that person, too afraid to chase after his dreams. After a while, I stopped looking beyond all the things right in front of me. You came along and you opened my eyes to things I have missed all along. After a life full of easy dreams, what if I was wrong all along? Picture this, what if all it takes is a moment believing the end doesn't end, it begins. Picture this, what if all I wanted was there all along,
Leading
us to what's so hard to see. Picture this. Picture this. It started out as a whisper, just a glimpse of what brave I could be. I'm taking for myself the freedom to hear out the voice that's inside of me. Let go my breath, count to 10, capture this moment. I don't have to see the end to go on. This twist of fate's worth the wait. I know that I'm okay if I'm wrong all along. Picture this, what if all it takes is a moment believing the end doesn't end, it begins. Picture this, what if all I wanted was there all along, leading us to what's so hard to see. Picture this, dare to see it, dare to let myself be it. Behind everything that I've lost, I've found. What if all it takes is a moment believing? What if all it takes is a moment believing the end doesn't end, it begins? distance. Picture this. What if what I wanted was there all along, leading us to what's so hard to see? Picture this. Picture this. What if what I wanted was there all along? What if all it takes is a moment? A moment, a moment. Picture this.
Oh, thank you, Billy, Gina, Michael, thank you. Picture this. Anybody being asked by their lives right now to picture this? What if the end is just the beginning? Anybody have any endings in the last year in their life? Or the last 5 years? We have one person in here that's ready to say it. Or the last 5 years. We have been living in a world that is asking us to move and shift and change and open. What if right where we are is exactly where we're called to be? And there's enough in every one of us to be in that place. And that every moment of our lives actually has the beginnings. It has the wholeness. It has the life. It has the presence. It has the power. It has the possibilities. And we get to open to something more. As our lives are being asked to reopen, and what a week we've had, and it's like, wow, there's possibilities here. We're actually in our 4th week of a 12-week series, which is all on specific spiritual principles and how will they support us in our life journey. Because sometimes we might just feel like we're alone. And we haven't allowed that God of our understanding to be present and available and move through us. And so we started out just with the power of faith. You see, in Unity, the co-founders believed that if we wanted to know God as us, within us, we could work on these 12 divine ideas or vibrant energy centers, powers within us. And they just started with faith. Because when we believe that at that ending, there is good present, there is God present, there is life present, there is love present, we will actually set the directions for our lives. So every day we get up and we say, I'm abundantly blessed. Life blesses me. I do not know the road ahead, but I know it's good. I know it's God. And this isn't some guy out in the sky. This is not some made-up idea from organized religion. It is a spiritual essence. It is the quantum field that we live and move and have our being within. And that presence guides us. Then we went to understanding. And understanding is the basis that we know God, infinite good, is under all things. There's nothing happening in my life that is not calling forth life and love and presence and power. It may not feel good. I may not know why it's there, but I can guarantee you somewhere in there, we have said yes to not just experiencing something, but to healing and growing and expanding and moving humanity forward. And so you might say, I don't like that. Now I'm going to ask again, anybody have anything in their life right now that they don't like? Or maybe in the country or around the globe. When we say this is bad, there's no good here, we've just said there's no God, there's no infinite, there's no reason. And the truth is, I may not like it, but if I have the understanding and the faith that it will expand me, evolve me, bless me, all things work together for good, then literally I move forward in a way that I couldn't have seen. And last week we talked about will, not the personal will, although boy, can I get stuck in personal will. And the fascinating thing is, when I open to the infinite will, which is always absolute good, it is the evolution of humanity. It is every being knowing their infinite worth and understanding that essence is within every being. This idea of this absolute will that moves through us allows us to stand one moment longer. It allows us to say, this may not feel like I want to feel, and I, as Rumi says, I want to go back to sleep right here. I'd rather just go back in my little house that worked for the last year. I'll just turn on the TV and pretend none of it's there. We're in a new place. And part of what will move us through is the power of our will aligned, which means this aligned with God, thy will. What is Spirit asking us right now? What is Spirit? What is love asking me today? We get to our idea today, which we're going to look at imagination. And we are right where we need to be. Because every one of us in this country and on this globe is being asked to imagine a new world. We're being asked to recreate our lives. After being inside and shutting down, we have actually shut down many things we don't even realize. My 19-year-old was talking about the senior class is going to be together for graduation on the football field. She said, I haven't seen that many people in a long, long time. I don't know if I want to go. I'm like, of course you're going. Of course we are. But I realized we have to reopen our mind. Imagination is actually a power that is innate within you at any moment. Has anybody been using their imagination to think of how horrible it could be? We have imagination. It is fascinating to see where it goes. I can't tell you how many times I have to use my will and say, no, this has no power over me. I'm not going down that road. I know that whatever's happening in this moment, I don't have to like it, I don't have to agree with it, but I'm there to be a part of the evolution of life and humanity through it. And so my opportunity then is to actually just begin opening to a new idea. And a lot of our stuff has gotten pretty crunchy. I don't know if that makes any sense. We've gotten them into things. I got out these pants this morning, and I put them on. I thought, oh, they're fine. And I looked; they were so wrinkled where they'd been on the hanger for the last year and a half, probably. That literally, I looked. I was like, I'm not ironing them. Nobody can see them. I thought, oh, there's people in the sanctuary. Get out the iron. I couldn't even find the iron. I couldn't find the ironing board. Somebody had moved it into the garage, so I'm in the garage going through all this stuff. And I thought, this is what life is asking us right now. Get out your ironing board, get out your iron, figure out what it is that you need to reawaken, because some of us might have used our power of imagination to say, I'm not safe. We've been told it's not safe to do this and this and this. We're not getting rid of the spiritual power of wisdom. I'm not saying we're walking out there. We still have masks on in here. We're joining together to say what's the wisest we can do in this moment. And the next moment we'll make another decision and another decision. But what is it that we can do that allows us to open to something larger? In your life right now, this power, this vibration of imagination can open your world to something larger. I actually wrote down 12 categories. I used some that I had used before in a class called 4T, and then I wrote some of my own. And this weekend, because I didn't have kids at home, I started opening my mind and saying, what could I see in this area? I mean, how many of us in friends and family have actually had what we desire? Maybe it's just friends. Or how many of us in life and what we do? I mean, we get to recreate. So I want to tell you a little bit about this power of imagination. Albert Einstein, we know, said, no problem can be solved at the same energy that created it. We get to bring into every experience we have that's not working, we're not usually conscious of it, but we actually bring our energy. and our decision of what's going to be. Because we get to decide how we go through every experience. We may not get to decide whether it's easy, whether there's suffering, whether, there's things we don't get to decide. But we always get to decide the quality of our journey and our belief, our sacred space that we hold. And so imagination, first of all, with Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, and I'm gonna start with them, the co-founders of Unity, they always said, when you look at an idea and it has power in it, look at what it's not first. Now, I don't know why, but I want to read you some of the things Charles Fillmore said. Imagination is not pure fantasy, not in relation to life. It is, in fact, the power that has often built up the disasters in our life. How many of us have imagined throughout a lifetime, I'm not enough? We've actually put something forward, and I don't know about you, but we've built up what could happen, the what ifs. And we've literally expanded that. It said imagination is not, many children are told it's just your imagination, and that doesn't help. There's much more going on than we have any idea of. It's not just a head trip. It requires that we join our thinking and our feeling. And so I want to just share a little bit of what he says it is. He said, in the mind of God, so in this quantum field, our imagination is the scissors of God. It's how we design and shape. Now remember, he said this 100 years ago, but it's how we shape and form our world. Imagination in humankind is the power to exercise, control, and give birth to something new. And so what's interesting right now is we're being asked to reimagine our lives. And I don't think this invitation to reimagine says, oh, good, let me see, I need a new car and a new house and I don't think we're doing this. Some of us got real caught up in a world that went in that direction, and I don't know about you, but when we come to the end of our life journey, all of that is stuff that people say, what can we do and how can we get rid of it? I believe instead we're beginning to be asked to imagine ourselves as part of humanity, as part of the worthy quantum field, and we're beginning to be asked, not just beginning, we're being asked to see all of humanity around us as the divine creations of spirit. And that is a place where we get to move in to something so large. So we use our power of imagination. It is literally that which creates. It is the power we have to expand and create. And so this weekend, what I did was I would look at what would I like to see here? What would that grow as? What would it look like? Even when we don't have to know how it gets to there. And of course, I always put this or something better as I'm setting larger intentions. But I know that when my intention is to heal relationships and to love the beings around me, and I begin holding that sacred space of myself as a creation of love, it creates through me, Spirit creates through me the opportunities and the ways that we can touch our world. This is life, this is the expression, and this power is what does that. The first part that in this book we're using Divine Audacity, she said it's conception. Any constructive idea that you or I could ever conceive of comes from divine mind. When we have dreams in us, the belief is that it comes from the quantum field. It comes from that essence and that life and that presence and that power that's already there. So if we are created from this quantum field, which is love, and we have the ability to enlarge our world, what would happen if right now in our lives we said, what is mine to birth? The first one might just be, I'm comfortable around people. People are good. We have gotten message after message after message that stay away, shut down. And that's not bad. It's like the things that served us, then we have to go farther. We have to go higher. We have to believe where things are. Throughout my life, I've realized that when I had an awareness of truth and I used it and I was empowered, and then something happened that shut that down. When I was in my teens, I was actually a YOU Regi rep, which was a big deal in our youth group. And I talked to people. And then I got very ill in my 19s and early 20s. And so I didn't talk to anybody. And I remember at about 24 or 25, being married and saying, could I ever have the courage to talk to a room full of people? I didn't have any messages in there that still remembered or was able to pull forth or believe that. And I laugh about this and I talk about it. Sometimes I went out and I bought, for some reason, I chose a blue and white striped, very thick striped blazer. And I got up on the platform at the church I was attending that I never spoke at. And I had a picture taken and I waited till everybody left the room. I didn't even let anybody, there was nobody else in there. And I took a picture and I thought, in my mind, if I could just expand my belief that I could do that, which was a dream in me. And I look now and I think, whoa. But it's a recreating. So how many dreams right now do you have to recreate, redream? Do we have to have the courage to believe and to conceive of something? Because when we conceive of something, we actually create a sacred space in this quantum field. And then our opportunity is to fill that space. So when we're holding a space for an expansion of some part of ourselves or some part, holding it for humanity is where we are also. We may not know how to get there, but I believe part of our job right now is to hold it for humanity. I believe that the truth is that every person is whole, infinite, and complete. I am absolutely committed to seeing it and to being present and treating them in that way. And if I'm mad and saying the world's falling to pieces and it's going nowhere, and that's what I'm filling this sacred space with, how does it serve me? And so I've got to put that stuff aside. I got to say, okay, enough of that. I believe in this, I'm going to stand for this, and these are the ways I do it. And then our personal. We get to create a sacred space, and I believe we get to really be mindful about it. Reverend Dick was here this week, and it was so good to see faces and to beings that have, he was a minister here for about 10 years at this community, and he said, I'm 89, and what I know for sure is that I am abundantly blessed. And we're sitting out in the garden, and he said, I couldn't ask for anything more. And I thought, wow, now that's a sacred space. What would happen if we just simply dared to say, I am abundantly blessed, and started allowing ourselves to expand that and to recognize the good that's present and the life that's present and the ideas. And yet I think that we all are a part of this journey. Linda Martella-Whitsett says, she said, it's helpful to know that we are equally as capable of imagining the best as the worst. In fact, imagining the best is an innate evolutionary drive that becomes easier with practice. This is a practice of, I believe there's good in this. Is it a long-term journey? Oh, you better believe it. And for me, that's where spiral dynamics has answered so many of those questions. We can practice conceiving of harmony when undergoing challenges in our relationships. We can conceive of our loved one's wholeness of being during their illness. It's not about the outcome. It's about our ability to hold that presence and that power and that light. We can redirect an obsessive image of an airplane crash by conceiving of the plane landing safely. It's like, how many of us have had these images of life and of ourselves and of humanity, and now it's time to say, I believe in something larger. I believe that there's life and there's good and there's presence. And one of the fascinating things is, if we really are created in the image and through the likeness of this quantum field, and that is my belief, that energy field is love, you can call it God, you can call it Jesus, you can call it Buddha, then literally we have access to that field every moment of every day. And when we get quiet and silent and say, Spirit, what would you have me see? What would you have me know? What am I to hold? And we gradually listen to where it's like, what is present here? Then literally it's not my head. This is not imagination. Well, at least let me tell you this. I have held some things in my imagination, and I have gotten those things, and they were not the answer to my world or my life or what was happening. They were a head thought. Imagination, according to Charles Fillmore, is our head and our heart. It's a coming together of ourselves as a human being on this evolutionary journey, daring to say, I believe, and I create this space, and then I allow Spirit and myself to fill it with my thoughts, with my actions, with my holding. And I believe sometimes that's the most important thing we can do. We can pray and hold for a healing in a relationship and love from that point, even when we can't see that outworking. We can be that channel. She said, with our conceiving power, we catch an idea, which is to say we make it our own, filtering it through our consciousness. And she said, if we have a fearful attitude, we usually switch it and add our fear and say it's not possible. What if we were willing to believe it's possible? I believe that the universe right now is asking us to open to a new humanity. I believe that we're going to get to recreate this community. As we start coming together again, we could say, whoa, every person who walks through these doors is a part of something larger. And how do we hold a space that will then bless humanity? I believe we're going to get to do it as the city of Portland. Now, we can read the news of, oh boy, and we can see it. But we can also hold a belief that this is the greatest teaching, growing piece of humanity that I don't know why we're going through what we're going through, individually, collectively, or globally. But I know that our choice about it, what we build in our minds, will determine our quality of life through it. The Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu wrote a book called The Book of Joy that I'm currently reading. It's wonderful, and I think we'll play with it later this summer. But their idea was, what would it take to hold joy in the midst of life's greatest sufferings? And it's all about what's in our hearts, our minds, our beings, and a willingness to believe in something more. You came as the more of the universe. You came as the love, as the expression. You're enough right where you are. And all of the stuff is the journey and the navigation into a greater consciousness, into that love, into that exploration. And we in this community, we in this city, we in this country have come also as that way. All of the stuff that's behind us is there to teach us. It's not leaving. It's there for us to open our hearts and say, and this too, and from this, there's good, there's life, there's God. And I would just invite you to open up to a larger picture of your life, of this community, of this city, our country, and the world, because it's already established in that divine mind. It's there for you to pull through and then to allow to be expressed in your world. Thank you. Okay. And as we know that and get to hold that, we're going to receive our tithes and our love offerings. And these gifts, we get to realize, of course, I still go back. I work with it every single week of the idea that Lynn Twist says that we as humanity have believed in a lie of scarcity. Imagination is the tool that will begin to allow us to say, I'm enough, there's enough, we're enough. But it starts in our hearts and our minds. And so as we receive our tithes and our love offerings, and I thank so many of you who have sent in the giving of the month of special giving that's above and beyond your regular gifts. It's made such a difference in this community. And as we hold this idea of enough, it will manifest through us. And so I'm going to say, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Let's affirm that together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Infinite Spirit.
The shadows I was seeing, the doubt I was believing, no longer in my view. I see that they were never true.
The darkness that I lived in, the prison I created, were only made by me. My faith came in and set me free.
'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new.
Created in the image of God, the power of love in all I do. 'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new. The power of love and perfect view. An image of God that looks like you.
Treasure that I wished for, all the love that I could hope for, were always here inside. I never had to hope for more.
Now I'm living in my freedom. I affirm what I believe in by living life, by being light. 'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new. Created in the image of God, the power of love in all I do. 'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new. The power of love and perfect view. An image of God that looks like you. And all I am, and all I am is love. Divinity of God before our eyes. The unity of God and man has come. And all I am, and all I am is love. Divinity of God before our eyes. The unity of God and man has come.
'Cause who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new. Created in the image of God,
The power of love in all I do. And
who I am is now renewed. The old is gone, all things are new. The power of love
in perfect view. An image of God that looks like you.
an image of God that looks like you.
Thank you. Beth, will you go see if Barbara's outside? We're still working with logistics. Today, our youth and family ministry started with one little age group, although I think we've got some different ones here. The image of God that looks like you. Thank you for bringing that to us. That's what we're looking at and seeing. And I just wonder, how would this community be different if every one of us agreed to see the image of God around us and to realize whatever we've been through in the last year, I know this, we've come to connect. We've come to be a part of each other's journey. And in just a moment, hopefully we're going to sing our youth in, which we haven't done in a year, and I don't know what, just the few that are here. And so I am hoping that we get to do that, but just to realize every being has had a year that has asked them to journey through the unknown. Every one of us. And we might say, I made it through, but I believe every time we talk about making it through or what we've done, I believe we actually are a part of another person's healing because we can see them and know them as that divinity of God. So we are going to hopefully sing our youth in.
One
With the earth, with the sky, one with everything in life. I believe it will start with conviction of the heart. With the earth, with the sky, one with everything in life. I believe it will start with conviction of the heart.
I'm just grabbing one more here. Come on, buddy. You got to get up here. We got to have you. We got to have you up here. All right. Thank you. I want to say every one of us is a part of this humanity. We are a part of coming back together and opening our eyes in a larger way. And we are so happy to have every one of you in here. I know this is totally messing with the sound, and thank you, Leah Rose, for messing with me. But I just want you to know we've come to touch other lives and to remember we heal by being a part of the healing of each other. And so we're going to stand and sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and let it begin with me.
Here we go.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Oh, yes, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. And I just noticed you all planted seeds. Is that what you did? In an ice cream cone. That's pretty cool. Now, that's pretty cool. So you can plant it in the ground. We are all seeds blossoming and just simply here to express. We're going to close with our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. Have a love-filled week. Thank you to our wonderful musicians, our sound, our tech. We are so blessed.
The light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.